Welcome back to Tuesday Morning Podcast. Hope you're all having a great day. I certainly am not. Isaiah isn't either.
No, I'm
but
not.
it's going to be a little bit better now that we're talking,
Yeah.
except for not really. So today we had a couple things planned to talk about. On Instagram last night, I sent out an Instagram story and I asked people. Hold on, what did I ask them, Isaiah?
The
It
difference
was-
between acquaintance and a
Oh,
friend.
yeah. What's the difference between a friend and acquaintance to you? And a lot of people said basically the same thing. Well, first I want to know what you think the difference between an acquaintance and a friend is. I know you wrote it here, but you're here, so you can tell me in person. What did you think
So
the
my-
difference between them is?
All right. So my personal opinion, I think a friend is not seasonal. Yeah. It's not a
Shoot.
friendship.
Hold on.
Oh my.
Okay, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
LOL.
All right. So like a friend is what's the difference is that a friend is not a person who just like talks to you like seasonally or like when is like. I
No,
can't
man,
speak
there's
this
no
morning.
wrong answers.
I can't.
Like,
No, I can't speak this morning. You know.
oh yeah, for
There's a
sure.
lot of stuff. But anyway, okay. I'll answer it. All right. So like a real friend is someone who's like with you thick and thin. Like the person won't leave you. An acquaintance is someone just that talks to you like when they see you, and just basically that's it.
All right, that's a good answer, man. A lot of people were saying that. Well, like one person said that it's someone that I could share real things with, not just small talk. Another one said someone you can trust. Someone said don't trust acquaintances; they're snitches.
Yeah, cut them snitches.
My favorite by far was I can fart in front of my friends. That one was freaking hilarious.
Who said that?
No, I said it was anonymous. I can't say it, but that was pretty funny. It was a good time. So I don't know. This person's. It's pretty funny. Anyways, another person said a friend truly cares about you, while an acquaintance doesn't. And another one said a friend is someone you can be real with, which is basically like you tell real things to, like the other person said. It's just a lot of like friends you talk to, acquaintances you don't really talk to, a lot of that, which I get. I just feel like there's just, well, to me at least, there's just like a different feeling for a friend versus an acquaintance. Like it's more of a, I don't know, like a trust thing, I guess, where like, I don't know, for me, I would rather have like mutually assured destruction. So like if you tell someone something, or if I tell someone something, sorry, then I want them to tell me something too, so that way if they ever snitch or something, then I can snitch back, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You got them on the rebound.
yeah, exactly. So like, sure, they might like drop the first bomb, but like I'd blow up their whole country, you know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. That's why we have so many nuclear bombs. It's like mutually assured destruction. That's why the Cold War happened, that sort of thing. So like I feel like that works, and I don't know if that's what changes for me an acquaintance into a friendship. But I don't know. It's just like a totally different feeling, which I think is what people were trying to say at least. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just very different for me, I guess, than other people. I don't know. I had another question though. Oh look, Mr. Bunda's here. Hi, Mr. Bunda. You were supposed to be third chair today. That's okay. You don't have to be if you don't want. Anyways, the second question that I put on Instagram was, what is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance to you? So what change? Or no, sorry, that was the first question. LOL. The second question was, what changes an acquaintance into a friend? A lot of people said the same thing for this one also, and that was just the amount of time you spend with them, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was an addition to the first one, to the first question. I think it was more of a trust thing, and like that's why I think when you break someone's trust in a friendship, especially if because friendships are based on that a certain kind of trust, that friendship no longer happens anymore. So like you're no longer friends with that person if they break that trust. And it depends on what you're trusting them with. So, like, if you're trusting them to, like, protect your feelings or something, or, like, be the person that you talk to, I think it's different than just trusting someone with knowledge. Because one of them hurts more than the other, obviously, and it's different for everyone. But that's just my 2 cents. How about you, Isaiah? What changes an acquaintance to a friend for you?
I think you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bunda.
I think I would have the same answer, but as you, I guess it's more the trust that you put into that person.
Yeah.
So the amount of trust you're gonna put, then the amount of your feelings comes out, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's very hard for some reason for people to like self-reflect and think about why they do the things that they do. And I think personally that it's just easier to be told what you do and why you do the things that you do. I don't know. I just find that most people just can't self-reflect, and I think that's what causes a lot of the problems in like friendships and in like society at the moment, because people always blame people for other stuff, not realizing that they also do that stuff or worse stuff. And so I think that has a lot to do with all kinds of relationships, not just like friendships, but like even business relationships, even like actual relationships, that sort of stuff. Anyways, to the responses to this question on Instagram, a lot of them were saying like deep conversations, which I'm assuming they're talking about the kind of conversations that you can't talk about with other people. So like kind of that whole trust thing, with trusting them with knowledge, and also probably trusting them with emotion too, because deep conversations tend to go that direction. Another one was having an actual connection with someone. So I'm assuming this person is talking about actually being in the room with someone. So like instead of over like text messages or like something like that, you have to be like face to face with someone to be friends. I don't think it's possible to just text someone and call that a friendship, because you don't have the same kind of connection. I think it's more of like a mental thing than an actual friendship. So you like their brain, but you don't actually like them. I think it's that sort of thing. And I think that happens a lot too, especially nowadays. When, no offense to parents, but like when they don't let their kids go out, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Bunda, but when they don't let their friends go out, or like they stop them from hanging out, and this doesn't happen to me all the time. Like actually, it never really happens. But like I know of kids who their parents don't let them go out and hang out with friends, and it's very hard for them to have an actual relationship with someone, not even just like a romantic one, but like an actual friendship, because you need that human to human interaction. Otherwise, everything basically changes, because there's no longer consequences to what you say. Yes, Mr. Bunda, we want you to be third chair. Come over here. Come on.
I think this goes both ways.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay. What's your question?
Am I on TV?
No, I mean actually you're behind him, so I don't think you are.
TV's right there.
So, what you're saying is that there needs to be some type of human interaction. It can't be any digital interaction in order to have a friend. But what about people who meet and get married over the internet?
I think that is also a big problem, and I think that most of the time when that happens, it ends up not working out. I don't know statistics or something like that or anything like that, but like I think it's much harder because you have to learn so much about someone so much more quickly, and to be dropped and to have a lot of stuff dropped on you at one time is very difficult. And I think that's a lot of the reason why there's like such a high divorce rate too, because people lie up until they get married, but then once they get married, once they get like, especially for like marriages now, once they get married, especially like the ones who meet and don't actually talk, like meet on the internet and don't actually talk in like real life or anything like that, they drop everything on someone and they show who they actually are once they're married, and then the person thought that they were someone different, so then they get divorced because they feel like they didn't actually know the person.
You guys true, Isaiah? You think I was lying to my wife all the way up to the wedding day? And then, boom,
Well, everyone lies about something.
Boom, all of a sudden, I'm a truthful guy?
I think it
I think it just gets harder when you live with someone.
like when
to
you're on
lie
Tumblr
to
and all
them.
those other websites, it's like
Heck's Tumblr?
Tumblr. It's
a
kind of like
dating
a
site.
A dating
Tumblr's not a dating
No,
site.
no, never mind.
Tinder.
Tinder, never mind.
Yeah,
Excuse
you know
me.
what Tinder is, Mr.
Tinder.
Bunda.
I know what Tinder is.
Okay.
I'm not a user.
I'd hope not.
Hold up. Well, I think it could be that case, but I think there's other also issues that resolve, because you go into if you're gonna go into a relationship, then for sure like you're gonna start revealing more about yourself and your characteristics in a point. But I think like marriage in a Christian's perspective is something sacred, so it won't happen as much, hopefully, but it could happen, where there's like issues that resolve, but like when you're
That
talking
resolve
about,
because they're talking via the internet,
well,
or what?
I would be careful when it comes to like those internet sites, you know, because I mean I would want to marry my best friend, you know, someone that I know already, but I mean, if you're doing it God's way, then God's for sure gonna have someone for you.
Yeah, I'm not, and I'm not saying that you can't meet someone on those type of things.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you can't build an actual relationship
Well, okay.
solely on the internet. You have to have
That'd be- I
face to
think-
face
I
time.
think it'd be harder. What was the original question?
It was what turns an acquaintance into a friend.
Yes, the Bible tells us that there is a friend that's closer than a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you this from my life experience. You know, you'll have a lot of acquaintances in your life, a lot, but there might be only one or two people that are really, really your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really your friend.
For sure.
So, anyways, let's go back to the answers on Instagram. Yes, Mr. Bunda.
That's how deep this is.
Give me another question.
Okay, let's do. Okay, I don't actually have another question lined up, but we did want to talk about
Mr. Bunda,
what did we want to talk about last week? It
Because
was,
you're not getting anything on the mic that much. I don't
oh
see
yeah,
any-
come sit over
Oh,
here.
just sit over here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll sit right here. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. You can go this way. Actually, he was pretty much on the mic. It's pretty sensitive, I guess. So, anyways,
World Wide Web. Listened
Yeah.
to by everybody.
by me and like myself in 10 different YouTube. YouTube things. That's fine though.
We got like 28 views last
Yeah,
one.
but the duration of the views was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So like no one actually watched it. It was a good time though.
How many people listen to this?
Me, only me. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Deep conversation.
So yeah, I don't know. Let's talk more about relationships, Mr. Bunda. What changes a friendship into an actual relationship?
What
Like
changes it?
like okay.
Oh, like
Okay, actually no. You know what? I have a better question because
Okay.
this applies to me.
Oh!
And I hope that this person doesn't listen to it because they'll know. But it's fine. So I don't care anymore.
Are we not naming names?
We're not gonna name names.
All right. Okay.
No,
We'll
I
call
won't name
Roger.
names. That's too embarrassing
So
for
we'll
me.
just call you Roger and her.
Oh, you can
Stella.
call me.
Stella.
Yeah, well, you can call her Stella. That's
All
fine.
right. Hey, no.
Okay. So Stella and I were having interesting conversations that needed trust to happen over the Instagram DMs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the DMs.
Yeah. So this is why this applies to me. This question applies to me. Oh shoot. Because this is happening to me basically, and I was like, especially because texts are open to so much interpretation. Because you don't know you don't know tone or diction or like their facial expressions while they're talking. So like I felt that the conversation in this quote unquote relationship was going, or like friendship was going in a different direction, and then it ended up not being that. And I just want to know why it's so hard for girls and guys to have friendships rather than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because like I just think it gets so much complicated, so complicated and so hard to have a friendship.
Why do you complicate it?
I don't know.
Do you like Stella? I mean, do you like?
I did. I don't know about now. It's weird
He
now.
doesn't like Stella.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just weird because, especially because it was so confusing because you didn't know what they were actually or how they were actually talking. You know. I don't know. What do you think about that whole situation?
Well, it's the problem. Well, let's not say the problem. The challenge came
Yeah.
not when it became that,
Yeah.
but long before that. Even before you met Stella.
Yeah.
Because there's so much pressure on teenagers to couple up, especially here at Western Christian High School.
I don't know about that one.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. If we follow God's design for marriage, then we will know that God will actually choose a mate for us, and having us not interfering by actually going out and choosing. You know, I had a pastor that once said, "There are many sharks in the sea, and if you're lucky, and if you start looking for one, you will catch one." You know, it's better that you have. And I'm coming to your question.
No, yeah, for sure.
There's a point.
No,
Well,
yes, it's fine.
It is better that you allow God to choose your mate, as He did with Adam. He chose
Mm-hmm.
Eve for Adam. So there seems to be a lot of pressure on young teenagers not to couple up, but to find relationships with the opposite sex. That I don't know why. And really, you should have within your, I shouldn't say in your DNA, but you should have within your boundary system a set of guidelines for yourself that guide you, that says, "Hey, I'm not going to be dating until this time." And quite frankly, I don't see the need for dating within the teenage years. That's just me personally. Nothing wrong with going out as a friend.
I agree.
Nothing wrong with going to the prom together. Nothing wrong.
Maybe just get married at 14, Mr. Bunda.
There's no need to get married at 14. You got plenty of time.
I don't know about that.
Plenty of time.
I don't know about that.
Plenty of time.
Jeremy's actually secretly married.
Yeah, I actually got married a few years ago.
Jeremy, you were 18 and I'm not 18, and you think that I'm like, oh man, Mr. Boone is a long time. I'll tell you right now, you have plenty of time.
I don't know, Mr.
Enjoy
Bunda.
life.
People used to die at the age of 40, right? So I get
Used
getting
to,
married.
not anymore.
I know, so I get getting married at 14, but I still feel like that's what's supposed to happen, you know?
Well, here's my feeling. The reason why I think that there's plenty of time. Number one, that leap from high school to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you graduate in June, and then you're starting college in August of the same year. You're not an adult. You think you are. Legally you are, but you're technically not. Especially if you're a young man, because most young men are pretty stupid until they're the stupid gene kind of goes away at about age 25, 26.
I don't know about that. I know some pretty stupid people.
There's a lot of them out there. I'm just saying for most, you know, and the girl stupid gene kind of goes away when they're
Have you
16 or 17.
Okay, let's talk
So
about that.
now you
then.
have smart girls and stupid guys. Bad combination.
I don't know because because I think the difference is that you're supposed to grow with someone, you know, and so you have to grow from something to something. So I think if you grow from stupid to not stupid anymore, that's a big change, and I think that that sort of relationship facilitates that, especially if you're trying to grow up and you're trying to learn. And I think people put too much on the change from high school to college. College is just basically a bigger high school, and no one actually cares what's going on. It barely. Okay, be honest with me. Nowadays, I don't think it affects your life as much as it used to. For like maybe
What
10
part?
years ago,
What part?
like college and actually doing college things, because like some of the biggest companies in the world, right, the most profitable companies, they don't care if you have a degree anymore.
College is overrated.
Yeah.
And the brand that you go to and the investment you make into it, you rarely will get the return on that investment.
Yeah.
And to back up what you were saying, I think what Isaiah said was he wants to marry his best friend, and I think it's much more important that you're friends with somebody for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Because you'll get to know somebody as a friend.
That's
you know,
interesting.
A lot more than you will.
My son.
Why that way and instead of the other way? Because the other way used to work way better. Marriages used to last longer than 15 years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's just so much pressure on the culture within teenagedom today to partner up, pair up.
I don't know about that because
figure it out young.
it was even more so like 20, 30 years ago, and before that it was even more so because they were dying sooner. So like I feel like the pressure, I think people are also overrating the pressure. People are getting more sensitive nowadays.
But way back when we were in an agrarian society, and getting married and having children was more to expand the family name and the foundation of the business, which was probably a farm.
So what's the difference now?
You don't need to do that now.
You don't need to, but why shouldn't you?
You don't need to. Well, everybody's different. There are some 18-year-olds out there that I'm sure are emotionally stable enough to get married. The vast majority of them are not.
Why do you have to be emotionally stable?
To get married?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I think that gives stability in most cases.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think marriage gives stability in most cases.
But you are correct. There's something about getting married young and going through life together, that toughness of life, especially if you're, 18, 19 years old, you're both working, and then, oh my gosh, God forbid you have a kid at 20, and now you add more to the financial strain, and you're living in a place you probably
good
don't.
financial
You're
strain.
probably living in a place you don't want to live, and you're
You
probably driving a
need
car you're
strain
not
in
trying.
order to have something that isn't
You're right.
strain.
It
That's
does
like
build
saying
character. It does build character. Are you
not
committed?
even just character. That's like saying you don't. That's like saying you don't want bad things to happen. But if no bad things happen, then you don't
Okay.
know what good is.
Let me
and no good things
let me
can
turn
happen.
this question around on you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, marriage is a commitment. A
Yes.
Christian marriage is a covenant.
Okay.
Okay, it's a covenant before God that you will stay together for
Yes.
life, right? I'm asking you guys to look at your culture, your society, your world. How many of your world? I'm gonna say you guys probably influence about 100 people apiece that you know and talk to and have
I don't
multiple
know
tests
about
with, are committed to anything. Okay, and we'll see through that commitment.
Me, basically, that's it.
Less than 5%, right?
Probably.
Okay. Now, let's take that now to a covenant marriage.
And okay, hold on, really
Okay.
quickly though. Why do you think that is? I think it's because parents no longer do their job, especially for the bulk of society.
You're asking me to grade myself. Huh?
No, not grade yourself. Just like because if you think about it, dads start leaving, and then there's just the moms, and then it's a lot of work for one parent to have a kid.
You are correct about that. I think parents today don't allow their kids to fail.
Yeah.
Because failure does teach a life lesson. Okay. And I'm reminded by a recruiter friend of mine. Well, it's not a friend of mine, but it's an Army recruiter, Marine recruiter. And I was asking him about that same question about parents.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, the best one I remember was this young man was in a platoon. He was trying to get promoted, and he was struggling a little bit. And his mother called the commandant of the base
my god!
and said, to explain who she was, who her son was, how he needed some special attention.
Parents,
and it kind
man.
of trickled down.
Oh my god! And he got it worse, and then he quit. Is that what happened?
No, he didn't quit.
Okay.
No,
At least he didn't quit.
He made sure that mom never called again. But that kind of thing does happen, and for a mom to not realize how harmful that could have been to that young man is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And parents need to let their kids fail as much as we don't want to. We want to pick them up and dust them up, but there's life lessons in failure.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry.
And you gotta let them fail.
You're asking a question. I'm sorry.
I forgot my question was.
What was his question?
Yeah, my question was, well, okay, think about all those kids that, they're committed to something. Most of them are committed to the nap they're going to take in the afternoon.
So then, what's
right? But how many do you think can actually withstand the strains of marriage, and really stick to the covenant that God has asked them to stick to?